As always, I'm Chad McLean and he's Kendall Miles. And did you know that one of the most fundamentally important relationships that every bowler has with their ball can be broken down as simply as torque? But what is torque anyways? Well, it's just a measurement of either how hard or how easy it is to get something rotating around an axis. So to demonstrate, I have Kendall here. He's going to take this 6-pound ball and hold it straight out in front of him. Now what this ball is doing is creating a torque effect all the way down his arm, which is acting like a lever around his axis or his shoulder. Now we can change torque in several different ways. We can change its orientation from the axis. We can move it closer to the axis or further away. Or we can change the mass itself by giving him a 16-pound ball to hold instead. Oh, and that reminds me, I forgot my coffee in the pro shop. I'll be right back. Don't move a muscle, you got this, bro. All right, now that we have a basic understanding of what torque really is, let's put things into motion. So the RG, or the radius of gyration, is a measurement of how quickly a ball revs up, and it's a pretty good indicator of when a ball wants to change directions. So to show this, I have Kendall here and he's sitting on a very low friction physics turntable. Now I'm gonna hand him a couple dumbbells and then I'm gonna give him a spin. So where he's holding those dumbbells is close to his central axis. He has a very low moment of inertia. So if he was a bowling ball, this would make him a low RG bowling ball. It doesn't take a lot of energy for me to get him spinning relatively fast. But as soon as he sticks both arms out to either side, he immediately slows down. That's because he raised his moment of inertia and put himself in a high RG orientation. It's gonna take more energy for me to get him spinning at the same rate as if the weights were close to his chest. So you can see him speed right back up again. And these basic rules of physics apply to every bowling ball manufactured today. All right, so differential is a little bit more involved when trying to explain it, because now we're dealing with multiple masses in different locations in relation to several different axes. So to show this, we're gonna have Steve step up on the physics table one more time. Now, if RG was a measure of when a ball hooks, differential can be classified as how much a ball hooks. And that's basically the difference in the height versus the width's moments of inertia, causing these balls to wobble down the lane, trying to correct their own course as they're moving towards the pin. So Steve, to simulate this wobble, I'm gonna give you a spin, and then I want you to raise one arm up to the side, lower it, raise the other arm up and lower it. Okay, you ready?
Got it.
Okay. Go ahead, raise one arm up. You see how he slows right down. All right, next arm. Perfect, and the other arm. It's great. So this simulates the wobble effect that every bowling ball is built with today. The bigger the difference, the more it wobbles, the more track flare you see on the outside, which we perceive as hook on the lane. All right, now symmetric versus asymmetric. This is where things get interesting. So I made this fancy ball with a steel rod on bearings stuck through the middle of it so it spins freely. Now Steve, please step up on the turntable. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give Steve this ball and I'm gonna get it spinning. Now this simulates a completely symmetrical core. Its height is the exact same as its width and its depth. So we're gonna spin it, and then I'm gonna have Steve, you're gonna rotate it from one side to the other, and we're gonna observe what happens, okay? Okay, go ahead and rotate. And back the other way, yeah.
I'm not doing anything.
That's exactly what we want to happen. We want absolutely nothing to happen. That makes perfect sense because there's no extra torque in this equation, okay? So that's not the case with this asymmetric bike wheel. It's asymmetric because when we spin it this way, there's a lot of mass around the outside, but when I spin it like this, it's relatively balanced. So, Steve, same thing. I'm going to get it going with this handy dandy pressure gun. All right, Steve, please rotate it to one side, 45 degrees.
Whoa.
What's going on, Steve?
I feel a lot of pressure and a lot of weight, and there's a lot of force going on here.
Absolutely. That's because the asymmetry of this bike wheel is so great, it's causing Steve to reorient his axis. And that is the key difference between a symmetric and an asymmetric core, is that there's no great force that's causing a symmetric core to realign itself, whereas an asymmetric does. Go 45 degrees, Steve, all the way, all the way. More tilt, more tilt. There you go. All right, everyone, we hope you enjoyed this 4-part mini-series of explaining things. Stay tuned for more great content. Don't forget to find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. I promise it's almost as satisfying as skip ad.